Hey guys, long time no see. I hope you are well by the grace of Allah. Yesterday we had a contest, Codeforces Round 753 Division 3. So luckily I had solved 3 problems here. In this video, I'm gonna talking about them. So let's jump into the explanation. At first talk about the first problem. So the name of the first problem is linear keyboard. I'm not gonna reading the essay here. So let's take an example from here and explain it. So according to the question, we had two string. This is the first string and this is the second string. According to the question, we have to find out the time to write down this hello world. Initially, we have our finger in A, and if we move B, it will take 2 seconds from A and B, and then if we move and C, it will take 3 seconds. If we move D, it will take 4 seconds because we passed the 4 letter. I hope you guys get the point. Now if at first our hand is in the A, remember that, and now if I take H here, so I have to press the H keyboard, and now if we want to print the H here, it will take 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, total 8 seconds. So now we take 8 seconds here, and after that we have E, so it take 1 2 3 4 5, and now we take 5 here. And after that, if I print LL, so it will take 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So we take 212, sorry, and 12, and at last we have O here. So what is the time here? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 and 15. So here is 15. We have to find the minimum time to print the hello world. So how we can find this? If I subtract this from this to write down how many times it takes to read hello and E, we have to subtract this from this. So if we subtract 8 from 3, 8 from 5, it will here 3, right? And after that, if we subtract 5 from 12, it will be the time when we print E and L. It will define the time to write these two letters. So if we subtract and we take a modulus sign, and if we subtract 15 5 from 12, we can find here now 7, right? 7. And if we subtract 12 from 12, we find 0, so we didn't take it here. If we subtract 12 from 15, we find here 3. So the answer is 30. I hope you guys get the point. Now I'm showing my code. So at first I take two string S and A, and after that I scan them, and I take a vector to store the position here, and then I run a for loop to check every letter from A. That means every letter from hello world. I use a function s.find position of the letter H from this string. So it will be return a position. Where is the H here? So here H is on the 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So it will return 7 here, and this is not a problem because if we subtract 1 from everything, the total sum is always the same. I hope you guys get the point. Now that I take a sum n, and then I simply minus the two consecutive value and put an ABS, because here you can see this position is greater than this position. So if I didn't take ABS, the value will be the negative. So that is why I take an ABS function, and after that I sum them, and after that I print them. I hope you guys get the point. Now let's jump into the second problem. So now let's talk about the second problem here. So the name of the second problem is old Grasshopper. According to the question, we have two integer. Suppose first integer is 10 and second integer is also 10. The first integer, so the first integer indicate the previous position of the position of grasshoppers, and the second integer indicates that the jump number. What does that mean? That means suppose there is a grasshopper and he is staying in a linear axis which is called x, and he will move forward or backward. So here is a condition. If the previous position, like the position is here 10, so if the previous position is even, then the grasshopper will jump backward, and if the previous position is odd, then the grasshopper jump in the forward. So I hope you guys get the point. Now explain in details. So here we have 10 jump, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. and the previous so the first extent is, so the first location of the grasshopper is 10, so it will stay in the axis 10. Now this axis is a even number, so that is why the grasshopper will jump left. That means it will move backward, so that is why we subtract a value. So what I will subtract here, so the first so this is the first jump, so that is why we subtract 1, so the answer is 9 here, right? Then after that, so now this is the this is a odd number, so that is why the grasshopper will jump in forward. So now what I will add here, so then so the jump number is 2 here, so I will add here 2, so the result is 11 here. So 11 is also an odd, and so the grasshopper will jump in forward, and that is why we add 3 here, because it is a jump, it is a third jump, so the answer is 14. Now this is an even number, so that is why the grasshopper will jump backward here, so I subtract here, and what I will subtract here, 4 here, because this is the fourth jump, so the answer is 10 here. Now 10 is also an even, so the grasshopper will jump backward, and what will the jump here 5, because of it is fifth jump, so that is why 5. And now 5 is also 5 is a odd number, so I add here 6, because this is the sixth jump, so the result is 11 here. And after that, this is an odd number, so that is why I add 7 here, because that is 7th jump, so that the answer is 18. And after that, this is an even number, so that is why the grasshopper will jump backward, and I subtract here 8, because the 8th jump, and the answer is 10 here. And after that, this is an even number, so that is why I subtract the 9th jump, and I find 1. And this is a odd number, so that is why the grasshopper will jump forward, and I add here 10, because it's the 10th jump. So the answer is 11 here. So I hope you guys get the point. This is an easy question. Now how can we solve this problem? Here we can see minus 10 to the power 14 to 10 to the power 14, that means it is a huge number, and n also a huge number, that is 0 from 10 to the power 14. So this is a huge number, we cannot use here nested loop, because the time limit is here 1. If we use nested loop, we find time limit exit. So how can we solve this problem? So basically we find here a pattern, we try to find here a pattern and solve this problem. So now here we can see this is the first operation, this is the second operation, this is the third operation, and this is the fourth operation. So as you can see, every fourth operation we find the beginning value. What does that mean? That means the beginning value is 10 here, right? So after the four operation we find 10 again. And now if we check after that, this is the 1, 2, 3 and 4, we find 10 again. Which is the beginning value? So what is the pattern here? So after four operation we find the beginning value, and after that again after 4 operation we find the beginning value. So what is the pattern here? The pattern here is, if the jump is 10 here, if we if we find the modulus 10 by 4, we can find 2 here. So we can simply extract this 8, so we can simply extract this 8 operation, and simply we can take this 2 operation, because after every 8 or 12 or 16 or 20 the value is similar. So that is why I find the modulus value, and after that I only make the operation of the remainder. I hope you guys get the point. Now I'm showing my code. So as you can see, at first I take x and n, and after that I scan them, and after that I divided the n value by 4. That means I did by 4, and after that I again multiply that value with 4. What does that mean? That means if I take n here, so what is the value? What is the k value here? K is equal to 10 by 4, right? So what is the answer here? 2. And then after that I again multiply it by 4. So what does that mean? That means here is 4, that means the result is 8. Now I started the for loop from k plus 1. That means I started the for loop from 9, and I ran it to 10. That means I extract the above 8 operation and then I only operate the 9 and 10 jump, and after that I simply check is even or odd, and I take here ABS because you guys know that if I find a modulus of a negative number, it will be negative. So that is why I put ABS here, and this is the simple logic, and after that I print the X here. So I hope you guys get the point. So let's jump into the next problem. So now let's talk about the third problem. The name of the third problem is minimum extraction. So let's jump into the explanation. Let's take here an example. So according to the question, we have a integer, suppose the integer is n, and the length of the array, and we have taken array and take the 4 value. And according to the question, we at first we have a rule, that is we find the minimum value and extract it and subtract it from the every other value of the array. So if I the minimum value is 1 here, so if I subtract 1 to every value, it will be like 1, 9, 0 and 7, and after that if we find 0 here, we extract it from the array. And now the minimum value is 1 here, and if I minus 1 to the other value, so it will be like 0, 8, sorry, this is not 7, this is 6. So the value is 0, 8 and 5. So we find here 0, so I extract the value from the array. Sorry, this is 5, and after that if I what is the minimum value here? 5. If I extract the 5 to other value, so this is 3 and 0, and extract the 0 value here. So this is the last value which is the remaining in the array. So according to the question, we have to find the maximum minimum value after every operation. What is that means? That means if I look here, if I subtract 1 to the others, then find 196. So what is the minimum value among these 3 value? 1. So we can take here 1 separately, and after that what is the after that we subtract 1 to the others, and we find 8 and 5. What is the minimum value among these two? 5. So we can take 5 here, and at last we find 3 here, so we can take 3 here. So what is the maximum value from these three numbers? 5. So the answer is 5. So I hope you guys get the point. We take the minimum value and iterate through the array and subtract the minimum value with the other value, and then we find the minimum value and print them. I hope you guys get the point. So how can I solve this problem? So as you can see, there is a huge number limitation. What is the 2 into 10 to the power 5? We cannot use nested for loop because the time limit is 1 second here. If we use nested for loop, we got the time limit exit. So how can we solve this problem? So as you can see, at first I take an integer, the length of the array, and scan it, and after that I declare an array with the length and +1, and after that I take the array, and now at last I sort the array, and at first and then I take two integers, sum and the max. Here I store the max value. This is the answer at last, and I store the first value here because it is the minimum value through the all array, and I also put the first value in the sum, and after that I ran the for loop from the index 1, and I check the difference between the value, and I store it with a value k, and after that I gather it to the sum because I have to subtract this value to the whole other value. So that is why I add every other subtraction value, subtract it to the next value. I hope you guys get the point. And after that I check the k value and I store the max value here, and after that I print the max value. I hope you guys get the point. See you in the next contest. Take care. Bye bye.